Last time in the good Star Trek movie. Oh no! Khan escaped from his prison. A new toy called Genesis that creates life in 2 seconds but still can't create a good Sonic game in years. Christy Alley as a Vulcan. She does well, but that's just plain weird. Revenge is sought after, and Shatner says Khan's name like he's passing a kidney stone. What's this? Spock is sacrificing himself for the crew? It appears this Vulcan wants out of this franchise. Will he be sucked back by the fact that he's the most marketable character? Stay tuned. Same Star Trek time, same Star Trek channel. In continuing with Star Trek Month, we now take a look at Star Trek 3, A Search for Spock. Now, out of all the odd-number Star Trek movies, this is probably the one that people say comes close to actually being pretty good. But it still lacks the epic rivalry of 2 or the clever comedy of 4, and so on and so on. Is it worth searching for? Let's find out. This is Star Trek 3. So we open up with a recap of the last movie, and we discover a rather effective way to save money on your opening credits. Just play your previous movie backwards. Yeah, who needs big special effects when you can simply push the rewind button on your last film? We then cut to Kirk, who is still shaken by the loss of his Vulcan buddy.
With most of our battle damage repaired, we're almost home. Yet I feel uneasy. And I wonder why.
Well, it's either the bean burrito that might be giving you indigestion or the fact that your best friend just died. I don't know, maybe it's the burrito.
A hero's welcome, son, is that what you like? Well, God knows it should be.
We then cut to elsewhere in space, where a Klingon, played by Christopher Lloyd, is gathering info on the Genesis project. And apparently he buys his animals from Gozer's pet shop and aquarium. That thing is so cute. I'm gonna name him Hello, how you doing? And apparently he's so important to the story that he even gets his own scene.
You're dead. Look, quit.
Yeah, wasn't that vitally important? I couldn't see the story moving forward unless we knew that got fed. It's the crux of the movie.
Ich lach Joey. Jayaj.
Tree, duck.
Kapla Joey.
Boy, she's sure taking that whole gotta kill you thing pretty well. Not even a plea or an escape plan or a darn. She just fully accepts it. You know, if only more people were accepting of death. God, it's probably what we've been waiting for. Okay, put it on screen.
Hi, Critic.
Sci-fi guy?
Yeah, well, who'd you think it was gonna be?
No one. I thought it was gonna be Anyway, what's up?
Well, I got that copy of Star Trek V that you wanted.
Oh, that's right! I don't have a copy of it because I only try to own good movies.
Yeah, well, you know, being a sci-fi nerd, it's kind of required by law that I own everything Star Trek. Even the really bad stuff, like the Christmas special.
There's a Christmas special?
Yeah, it's only legally viewable in Amsterdam. So, you want the movie?
Oh, sure. Upload it to my computer.
There you go. Let me tell you, your review of this, I'm sure, is going to be just as funny as mine.
You're planning on reviewing it too?
Well, yeah, it is kind of my shtick.
Unfortunate.
I know what that means, and I'm totally cool with it. I mean, I'd totally love to die on your behalf.
Indeed. Thrusters!
I think it's so awesome that you're gonna kill me like this. I mean, I can hardly wait. Just zap me into oblivion.
You will be remembered with honor.
Oh, wait. Before you do that, I am transferring my life savings into your bank account. Hell, I'm not gonna need it anymore.
Oh. Well, thank you. very, very kind of you.
Oh, also, I should just let you know that I had all of my family members sign up to be your personal slaves after my passing. Anything else I can do for you? You know, wash your windows, shine your shoes?
Oh, no, thank you. You've done more than enough, sci-fi guy. God, your understanding of the situation is unbelievable.
Well, I know it's for a good cause. And, hey, just good luck to you, man.
You too, my friend. You too.
Fire!
So the Enterprise returns to the space dock when Chekhov suddenly discovers a human life form in Spock's quarters.
I'm on my way.
Lord knows the security team doesn't go in first. It's too scary. They're only dressed for in case a 1940s football game breaks out. But it turns out it's Dr. McCoy, who is actually convinced that he himself is Spock.
Help me, Jim. Take me home. Bones, we are. We are home. Then perhaps it's not too late.
You can still stop me from saying yes to Transformers 3.
Uhura, get the medics down here.
As developed by Doctors Carroll and David Marcus, Genesis, simply put, is life from lifelessness.
Speak.
Impressive.
Oh my god, is that John Larroquette? It is! John Larroquette is a Klingon on Star Trek! I surprisingly have little material for that. John Larroquette as a Klingon? What the am I supposed to do with John Larroquette as a Klingon? I mean, it's strange enough to notice, but doesn't really lead its way to many comedic possibilities. I'm kinda stuck! Here's a triple in Night Court.
Oh, I'm hurt. Oh, I'm offended.
What do you want? It's the best I can work with. Meanwhile, Kirk is visited by Spock's father, who isn't too happy.
Why did you leave him on Genesis? Spock trusted you, and you denied him his future.
Well, he wanted out of the franchise.
He made no request of me.
He would not have spoken of it openly. Bring that which he gave you, his Katra, his living spirit.
Then how is
Kirk, I must have your thoughts.
So he does a mind meld with Kirk, but doesn't find the answers he's looking for.
Oh god, look at all the green-skinned Is this all your mind is filled with? The thoughts need a hobby.
It is not here.
So if the mind of Spock isn't in Kirk, then where is it? Well, how about in the mind of the guy who thinks he's Spock? But no, that'd be too obvious. We need clarification of this by going over to the nicely shot and edited security camera footage.
Remember.
So McCoy finds he's of two minds on everything, but he figures a good old journey to the bar will shut up those voices in his head. Oh yeah, Call of Duty. These are the games of the future! Take a look, it's like seeing what will come.
To your planet, welcome. I here am new. My name not important. You seek I. Message received.
Are you hitting on me?
How much and how soon? How much is where? It's Genesis. Genesis?
You know, maybe you could say your lines a little easier if you stopped imitating the voice of Stitch.
It's Genesis. Genesis?
Genesis? Ziba!
Could I offer you a ride home, Dr. McCoy?
Where's the logic in offering me a ride home, you idiot? If I wanted a ride home, would I be trying to charter a space flight?
Now I think he just farted. You know, I think this guy's butt is where his mouth should be. I'm not entirely sure.
Federation security, sir. You're gonna get a nice long rest, Doctor.
But Kirk and Sulu go to break him out as they try to get him to the Genesis planet, which has just become forbidden.
Keeping you busy?
Don't get smart, Tiny.
Don't call me Tiny.
Anytime you want to use the word tiny, just use the word Takei instead.
The Kobayashi Maru has set sail for the Promised Land.
So a good chunk of the gang steal the Enterprise with Starfleet not far behind.
Commander Starfleet on emergency channel. He orders you to surrender this vessel.
Well, I have no idea what a vessel is, so I can't surrender it.
Kirk.
If you do this, you'll never sit in the captain's chair again.
Well, technically his contract has him for 3 more movies, so that's very unlikely.
Prepare for warp speed, stand by, transwarp drive.
Souvenirs from one surgeon to another. I took them out of her main transwarp computer drive.
Ah, yes, and the over-the-top cartoony vehicle sound effect?
Well, that was just for laughs.
We then cut to the Genesis planet, as Kirk's son David and not Christy Alley look over their Commodore 64 graphics and notice that a life form is down there. So they head on down to check it out.
Wabbitwanks.
After traveling for a while, they finally come across the life form, which makes no sense when they just beam to his exact location. And they see that the life form is in fact a younger version of Spock, with no memories and no means of speech. Kind of like Courtney Love after a few drinks. But then the evil Klingons come in to ruin the day.
Aha! Dosh! Come on, pull! Jump in there!
Now who are we gonna eat?
If it's prisoners you want, there are life signs on the planet. Perhaps the very scientists you seek.
So the Klingons beam themselves down to the planet where the others are. Several miles away from where the others are. You know, the logic behind teleporters doesn't make much sense. And here's a fun little development. It turns out Spock is going through Pun Far, which Star Trek history suggests that Spock has to mate with something in order to survive.
Oh my.
Yeah, look!
Spock! But the Klingon cock blockers come in and ruin the... Oh, let's face it, they didn't ruin anything.
I've come a long way for the power of Genesis.
Genesis?
And what do I find? A weakling human, a Vulcan boy, and a woman.
Sounds like the beginning of a joke at a sci-fi con.
Federation starship approaching.
Bring me up.
So Lloyd goes back up to his ship and gets ready for battle.
That distortion, see it?
Yes, sir. It's getting larger as we close in.
Ahwe! Doshi bosh! Nech!
Do you ever notice, by the way, that all his Klingon pronunciation is very similar to a cat puking up?
Nech!
The shield's non-responsive.
Scotty, the automation system's overloaded. I didn't expect to take us into combat, you know.
Oh, yeah, because stealing a starship and being hunted down by the entire Federation wouldn't ever put you in a situation where you need to defend yourself. So the Klingons fire at them, they fire at the Klingons, both are unable to use their weapons, and they find themselves at a stalemate. And this leads to probably one of the most senseless, disturbing, yet emotional death scenes that has ever come out of any Star Trek film. No!
Precautionary, Mr. Chekhov.
Screenwriting to kill my... Oh! Screenwriting to kill my... Oh! You murdered and maimed a totally pointless character! Oh! Oh! Oh, and Kirk's son gets killed as a means to force him to surrender. It's very tragic, but you screenwriting to kill my... Oh! Nobody told me this was gonna be like Marley and me in space! I'm sorry, I need a minute to recover from this. Scream.